You're stuck in an office building and you dream of life as a professional sport diver, but you just can't make the dream work. Well, other sport divers have had the same dream as you. Let's join Dan Wood at San Francisco's Underwater World.
I like the diving itself. It's very peaceful. After being in the corporate world, it's just nice not to hear telephones and pagers and people all around.
A lot of people will look at it from the outside and say, wow, that's cool. I'd like to do that. That looks like fun, you know. Now, it is fun, but it is a lot of hard work.
Set in San Francisco's Pier 39, Underwater World offers visitors an inside view of aquatic life that's indigenous to San Francisco Bay and the surrounding Pacific Ocean. It's also a great place to work if you want to marry your love of diving to your job. Dive reporter Dan Wood visited Underwater World to find out more.
Underwater World is an aquarium at Pier 39 in San Francisco. We specialize in the education and conservation of Bay Area marine life. We have 2 tunnels that each that are about 150 feet long and 2 tanks with 330,000 gallons in them with all Bay Area marine life.
And all of these bottom dwellers, if you look behind the eye of this leopard, there's a little hole there. Yeah. And it's more obvious on like the spiny dogs. It's called a spiracle. And in replacement for swimming constantly, getting water across the gills, what they'll use is that spiracle to draw water through and across so that they're able to breathe while they're just sitting there still.
Underwater World houses 10,000 fish, which represents 40 species. And someone needs to take care of all this. That's where professional divers come in handy. There are 2 ways to dive in these tanks, by hookah and by scuba.
We use both scuba and hookah for several different reasons. The hookah lines is a surface supplied air which comes from the compressor, but you are attached by an umbilical which can cause a lot of problems in tight areas or if you have more than one diver in either tank at any one time. Most of the time, if we have one diver on hookah, we'll have the other one on scuba. That way they will not become entwined, and it's a much safer situation than having them both on hookah at the same time.
But what does it take to be a diver at Underwater World?
What we tend to look for is a diver who has at least 50 log dives under their belt, is very comfortable in cold water, as the average temperature here is about 56 degrees, and can actually be underwater for a good period of the day. Additionally, we like to look for divers who have got some experience in marine biology, preferably a few college courses, if not a degree in marine biology.
The responsibilities of the divers at Underwater World vary. They have primary responsibility is cleaning of the tanks. Also, their responsibility is feeding the animals, various animals.
The divers feed the fish a mixture of krill, chopped fish, squid, vitamins, minerals, and algae. And with some 10,000 fish to feed, that's a lot of work.
The primary responsibility is feeding everything from the starfish to the anemones and the other fish that are in the aquarium. They also do dive encounters, which is a specialized diver communication system that we've installed that the general public can speak with the divers as they're walking through and experiencing the tunnels.
We use a comm system for what are called the dive encounters. It is a situation where the public, as they're proceeding through the tanks, can interact through an interpretive naturalist with the diver in the tank. They can ask questions. The interpretive naturalist will then ask that of the diver through the microphone, and the diver will reply over a loudspeaker system the substance of the question.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Underwater World's Diver Encounter program. This is your chance, our Underwater World guests, to learn more about what our divers do here as they take a break from their schedule to respond to any questions that you may have. And first of all, we'll let our diver introduce himself, sir.
Well, thank you, Greg. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sam, and I am an animal husbandry diver here
Sam. Thank you very much. Who has the first question?
Do they have any problems with the tiger sharks?
Ooh, the sharks. Good question. When you're diving with the sharks, any problems with aggression in those animals?
Well, no, not really. You know, most sharks are actually kind of skittish by nature, and these animals get pretty used to us. Before we put them in these large tanks, we actually kind of guide them around a little bit to make sure they know the lay of the land. So they really don't bother us, and they know we're not a threat to them. So they kind of leave us alone.
Dive reporter Dan Wood met with divers Rosalie Valerio and Corey Ware to find out how they got started diving and to get the inside story on what it takes to be a diver for Underwater World.
Well, I started diving about 12 years ago as a recreational diver and did a lot of open water diving, a lot of tropical diving and in Monterey. And I was in the corporate world for about 5 years before I came to Underwater World. I thought I needed a change, and I thought it'd be great to incorporate a sport that I loved, such as diving, and in my work.
I got started about in '89. I joined the Navy, became a Navy diver, decided to pursue a career in diving. I wanted to be an instructor, and I was working at a dive shop, and I had the opportunity to work here. One of the customers came in and asked if anybody wanted to work full-time at an aquarium, and I jumped at the chance. We now have a simple test that we put divers through, and we ask them if they can perform these simple tasks that will let us know whether they're going to be capable of diving in our fragile environment.
We do have an interview process, and that is also followed by a dive test, a very simple dive test, where we see how comfortable the individual is with their equipment in the water, and we have them do a few tasks to demonstrate their ability.
Buoyancy is also important.
I would highly recommend that the diver hone their buoyancy skills and control fin movement, especially in an environment such as what we work in. We work around a lot of exhibitory and fragile animal life that if a person comes into the tank and are heavily weighted, for example, they could smash right into the bottom and possibly hurt a lot of our exhibitory. So it's very important that they know how to be neutrally buoyant and can control their fin movement.
A lot of people don't even think we're real in there. And I kind of take that as a compliment, because that just shows how good of our buoyancy skills are, We're not moving around erratically and all that.
Some of the jobs that we do during the day, we do tank maintenance and cleaning. In the morning we vacuum the waste off the sand, we scrub algae, we chamois the acrylic tunnel. And after opening hours, we do dive encounters with the public and do whatever other tank maintenance is necessary, as well as exhibitory work. I feel very proud about the work I do in the tanks. I take pride in the work I do. I'm pretty meticulous about tank maintenance, and it's great to see the public out there. Oftentimes I get absorbed in scrubbing or working on a particular project, tying cable ties down, that I'm oftentimes shut out a lot of the visitors that are passing through, and then only to see someone looking up at me and waving and just having a good time. And it's great. It's almost like looking out at a TV, because you see all the people out there and you say, oh wow, they're looking at me, or am I looking at them? Okay, hello. And so it's pretty interesting that way.
But all work and no play makes for a dull diver. Like most people, these divers have their favorite parts of the job. Corey wasn't afraid to share his thoughts about Underwater World's favorite pet, and what he feels is the most satisfying part of his day.
We have 2 bat rays in our fish tank right now. We have a female that's about 60 pounds, and she was actually the first animal we collected here. And she's pretty much the aquarium's pet. Everybody loves her. Her name is Batgirl. The most enjoyable thing I get out of this is the children. I look at their faces, and they're like amazed, you know, and it's like they're looking at you, and you could tell they're thinking, oh my God, he's like a superhero, you know, he's like a diver guy.
It's just such a wonderful experience to inspire young children that are looking at us and wanting to be marine biologists or divers when they grow up, and to see us do the work that we do. It helps them to realize that you can follow your dreams and do what you love and make that your work. And it's just a great feeling to know that we're inspiring them and instilling them to follow their dreams and that it's possible.